Okay, hey, it's Storytelling Ron, and I'm here with Mark, Brian, and Victor, and we're all working on Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy content. And I just wanted to do a little roundtable with all of us and just talk about it and what we're doing, and just have a discussion. And so it's pretty. I have no idea what I'm doing, so let's just get started.
Okay, let's how it goes.
So, Mark, how about you first? I'm going to go last just so I can see how this works. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Mark Finn. I am a writer and an editor and a podcaster. I'm probably best known in Robert E. Howard circles. I wrote the biography Blood and Thunder, The Life and Art of Robert E. Howard. And my gaming credentials go back 40 years like everybody else. But the thing that I worked on that maybe people have seen, I did a little work for the Conan role-playing game from Ophidius, and I did a little bit of work on the main book, but then I did a large chunk of Conan the Thief. And right now I'm getting ready to participate in Kickstarter, their Zine Quest 3. I did Zine Quest 2 last year and successfully funded, and so this year I've got a new zine that I'm putting out, and that's going to drop on February 15th, and it's called Gobsmack. So
you'll show more of that later, okay? Brian?
Okay, I think I'll
Victor?
go now.
Okay. Yeah, sure,
okay.
Victor.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I don't have nearly close experience that Mark talks about in content creation. I'm just.
Okay, let me cancel you. Let me get you out of here.
Hi, Victor. I'm starting in all this content creation stuff, but I'm having pretty good results with some content I'm creating. I do stuff to. I'm doing stuff right now to help Dungeon Masters run the campaigns. Pretty much, I use Dungeon Masters Guild to promote myself, and the content that I have uploaded there have had pretty good reception. So I'm starting to think about taking it full time because I see a nice opportunity here in doing that. I have been a player of Dungeons and Dragons, like Mark said, for more than 40. No, well, not more than 40, more than 30 years since I was a kid. I stopped playing like 10 years, but now with the pandemic and I have two small kids and nothing to do, I said, okay, this is the thing I have to buy. So I bought the starter kit, start playing 5e, and now I'm playing with my brothers. I have another campaign with my cousins, and I'm all over this place again. Right. It's a great place to be. So that's pretty much where I'm at in this amateur content stuff, and I hope it goes well.
Man, that's awesome. So.
Yeah.
I started out and have a similar story. You know, like everybody, I've played D&D for years. We started playing it in college back in the 80s. So long ago, back in second edition. I played through second and third edition, and I took a hiatus from it because I worked on my career and a few other things, and ended up getting back into Dungeons and Dragons with 5e a little bit before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic came along, man, we've been playing 5e like twice a week. It's been a great time. But recently, you know, I started out and was trying to meld some adventures into some of the Eberron stuff because that was a little more interesting to me than the Forgotten Realms. But there's not much published for Eberron. So I've been fooling around a little bit with making a product for DM's Guild to reskin some of the adventures for Forgotten Realms into Eberron. So that's my basic 2 cents worth of resume for writing. Other than that, I work as a consultant during the day and I write reports all day, but that's the boring kind of writing.
That's the other life. The Bruce Wayne life.
Yes.
So yeah, Storytelling Ron, and 45 years playing D&D. I did take a hiatus like right after college, you know, during my angry years. But at college, I started with the Slavers in the whatever A1 or whatever, and went through giants, the Kuatoa, the under descent, and then the Lull, the Drow, and the Lull, and then end with Lull post college, and then after that, They did a lot of like MERP, Lord of the Roll Master and Middle Earth role playing.
Chart
And then-
Master.
What's that?
Chart Master.
Dark
Chart Master.
Chart. Oh, chart. Yeah, exactly. We always like Rule Master, but Chart Master. That's hilarious. We love those charts, those critical charts. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
And I even dabbled in a self-publishing attempt many years ago before we had the internet and before we got all into what we're doing now. But then that hiatus of many angry years, and then with my kids and settling down here in the last 4 or 5 years, my brother told me 5e was fun, and a little more relaxed or whatever is what he's been hearing. So I checked it out, and it's a lot of fun now. It's definitely more, just do it. Just do it. Like that's kind of how I feel now when I DM, that it's a lot easier to play, and let the rules just kind of more smoothed out for 5e. Yeah. But so then I've been drawing my own maps, my own minis. I just would love doing that, and it's been becoming obsessive now to the point that, hey, people are making money off this. Even DMs are charging now, and we're all kind of like doing that. We're all kind of just sharing the wealth with each other and helping each other out in that way. So that's I think that's pretty fun. And the whole thing with the open license and sort of this cottage industry, I think that's really a great way to go for any IP or whatever, intellectual property. So that's where I'm at, and and I appreciate you guys just contacting me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I figured, I'm just trying to do what I'm doing exactly like you guys are. So I thought let's just have a talk.
It's funny that you mentioned that we're all sharing the wealth, and that people are getting paid to Dungeon Master. I recently hung out my shingle. And by the way, just at the end of 2019, so perfect timing. But I've actually done a couple of paid gigs for DMing now, and what got me back into 5th edition, I was a creative arts teacher for homeschool for a little bit, and I was using D&D to sort of encourage language and
storytelling,
speaking out loud, and that sort of thing, and it worked really well. But there was a point at which I called my parents up and I said, "Hey, you remember that thing that you said about how this is probably not something I'm going to ever be able to make money at?" Guess what?
I made $42.
They were cool about it. They were like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't have believed it, but there you go." I was like, "Yep."
I have $4 in my hand, in your face.
I was magnanimous in my victory. I didn't rub it in, but I definitely called them. So that was
okay.
I'd let them know, you didn't have to know who the president was after George Washington, but by golly, you made it with the game you played. Yeah, it's really amazing. I remember the old days playing in college a lot, and having graph paper and notebooks and pencils and papers, and everybody's sitting around the room and trying to get everything copied out. I'm really amazed at some of the technology we have, whether you use Foundry or Roll20 or any of the other softwares that are out there. It's amazing how organized it keeps everything. And I mean, that's made it great, because for me, I'm DM and I play, so it gives me more time because everything stays organized. The electronic age has gotten great, and I think there's become a lot of opportunities for stuff, because there's a lot of older players that they remember the pen and paper days, and they're scared to death to get on something like Foundry VTT and try and play. And then they get on there and they find out, oh, I can use my sheet of paper on my desk, or I can character sheet in the system, either one. And it's amazing to get some people introduced back into it, swap off one system onto another.
And even for players, what you are saying, Brian, we started this new generation that I start playing with my kids. We went to D&D Beyond, and the player character, it's so easy to use. It's incredible. They just read, okay, what can I do? Look action. Now what else can I do? Look bonus action. Look reaction. Look spells. It's so easy to handle your character that it makes easier for other people to come back, like my case, or start over again, or start over, not start over, starting.
Start
Playing, starting up, start playing. So, as you say, the Roll20 for me, it's amazing. I wouldn't give it up for my life. I love it because I used to be a dungeon master 25 years ago. So it's so different. Yeah, you're right. Your prep time goes down. Everything is there. Everything is organized.
The plethora of stuff is, there's so much stuff out there now to help you, or you can pick and choose your style of content and visual aids that you want to. There's so many people, like with the Kickstarter and all, there's so many people coming up with different and unique ways of using tokens and miniatures and info and PDFs, and it's just amazing. And I'm like, I'm looking at all that, a couple of years back, I'm going, there's so much stuff out there. Someone's making, some kind of money. Maybe I should just make some money too. I mean, it's not like a lot of money, but it's just like a fun thing to do. And then really the most encouraging thing is when people buy your stuff, it's not the money, it's that they want to actually put money into what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's
you said it with the maps. With the maps yourself, you are doing it anyway. So, for example, I am right now playing Curse of the Strat. We are on the last stretch of the adventure. We have been 8 months over it. So every time we play on Roll20, every time we have a random encounter, I have to put together a map with some props that Roll20 have that that it has. But then I found out that the guy sold for $2 random encounter maps for Barovia. So it was like $2. Come on. Right. I can stop spending 15 minutes each random encounter and just pull out in Roll20 the map that I need. Oh, they are in a crossroad. I have the crossroad map. They are near the castle. I have the castle map. They are on the way to Solenka Pass. I have the map with eyes on that. So you are doing it anyway. You are doing your maps anyway. So why not sell it? If there are a lot of people willing to save some time doing that, because now it's so easy.
Yeah.
That's actually something I want to ask you guys about, because everything that's in Monty Hall, everything that's in this zine is stuff from my old campaigns that I essentially pulled out of Mead spiral notebooks and Trapper Keepers and converted into.
I like how you said Mead.
Yeah,
Trapper Keepers.
That's a visual right there.
Oh yeah. So Mead. I mean, all of that was stuff that I converted, and there was a point at which I looked down and I said, this is all pretty good. And at the time, one of the complaints early on was that there wasn't enough content for 5th edition, and B, a lot of people didn't like the format of the books. They thought they were hard to read or whatever, and so I started working on sort of an introductory sandbox, and for 1st edition people who were coming into 5th edition, and my big thing I was going to do was sort of tape off all the parts of 5th edition that you wouldn't recognize. I'd say, okay, play this, and then at the end of the campaign, you start opening it up, and then you can, integrate new stuff. Anyways, the point is I agonized over where to put it. DM's Guild or Drive-Thru RPG, or some other avenue. And so I know y'all are on DM's Guild right now. Talk to me about that, because I ultimately ended up going with Drive-Thru and Kickstarter, but I was this close to sort of following all of the rules and guidelines, and I think that's probably why I didn't. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you did that because of the 50% commission of DM's Guild takes, right? Just for using your content, that it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
Sell something on Amazon, they take a higher percentage than that, depending on who you are.
Well, Apple also on their App Store. So it's content creating.
Out to quite a few people. Really, I think it gets down to licensing. Are you licensing something that you're going to use just in Dungeons and Dragons, and you need to get some Dungeons and Dragons art and some structure, and you want to kind of use a little bit of their copyrighted material out of the SRD to make a licensed product, or, are you making something totally on your own? And, I think some of what you're talking about there, with taking kind of some of the first edition stuff and then put the fifth edition wrapper around it. It reminds me of the Roslov Keep book that is very similar to that. It's kind of a firsty, secondty edition format book, but it's in a fifth edition rule set.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff is really cool. And I mean, if you didn't have, DM's Guild, or you didn't have Drive Through RPG, me as a player or as a DM, I would never find that. You're not going to find it at a bookstore.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And to me, it's, the big secret DM's Guild keeps half the money, but they also, with that, trade you off for distribution and licensing. So I mean, you're paying for 40 years of licensing and material and such.
That's a fine way of putting it, Brian. Yeah.
What was that again, Victor?
No, that's a good way to put it. It's a lot of money, but it's 40 years of building a company, of building a consumer base, of building a lot of stuff. And yeah, you wanna come to my party, you gotta pay 50% of that. And
so what do you? But so my follow-up question is that is a given. Do you feel like you've gotten that out of the deal? Do you feel like that has been a trade-off that you've benefited from, or that it worked out the way you intended, or without throwing anybody under the bus, obviously?
I think your question has two answers. First of all, I will never have sold what I'm selling right now. That is not a lot, but it's like you were talking about your friend's book. It's your $500 checks every month that you won't live from that, but it's fine. It pays some bills. It's not that much, as a matter of fact, but I just say that because you said that. Okay, so the first part is I see the amount that I'm selling, and I'm only keeping half of it, and I created all of it, and it's kind of if it was 30% commission, I will make so much more money like that, because most of the people that goes to see and buys my products are because I send them there. I'm not on the top 10, so I don't know how to say it in English I don't ship in on the top 10 on the Dungeon Master Guild people that goes over there. So I don't chip in on that. I have to bring my own people there. So paying 50% in that side of the answer, it's kind of a lot. But there's the other part. That's money I will never have if I will do it on my own. Right. I will be maybe on Reddit doing it for free or just for me, like I was doing, like it all started. Everything that I sell, I start using it for me with my own adventures. So pros con, I think the balance goes to pros. It's a good place. They have the people find you there, and you have access to all the materials. Yeah. I can use everything that they have created, like Brian said, over 40 years. So I think at the end, it adds up. It adds up. No? You can go the other way and create your own content, and Kickstarter is exactly the same, right? Just right. They have their own marketing. They bring people in. They will find you, and it's kind of a same business model that D&D's Guild, but one with D&D content, the other without D&D content.
I have a thought about that, but Brian, is your experience similar?
Well, I have very little experience in the authorship field. I mean, my product is only on DM's Guild. I have some other stuff that's in the works that some of it will be on DM's Guild and some of it will not. But I mean, I look at DM's Guild as more of a launch pad. There's 1,000 new products a month that go on DM's Guild. I mean, there's literally hundreds of thousands of products on there if you go really start looking. And you can find everything from, there was a guy that had a fairly popular one that was last year, I remember from Reddit. It was playing an aged character, playing like a very, very old character. And it was something like, be nice to the elders or something was the name. It was a little like 3-page book that just talked about different things you could add into your character for flair. I mean, there's everything from that to, full on blown out, exploring Eberron and things like that Keith Baker and those guys put out. I think it makes for a good launch pad and a good marketing pad. And I mean, if you've got stuff that people are buying, I think you can take that and start to build your own brand recognition and launch off more products from that if you want to. I mean, my big thing is you know, like you, it's you know, I had my Mead notebooks and my Trapper Keepers, which, you know, for everybody that's under the age of 40, you know, Mead was a corporation that used to build spiral-bound notebooks, and Trapper Keeper was the coolest 3-ring binder you could have in the late 80s. But, you know, so if you had the Trapper Keeper, it was cool. But, you know, I mean, it's a lot of translation of items and then trying to get them into a 5e format. And then I think the DM's Guild really kind of helps force you into that 5e funnel to help you formulate a product. And I can tell you from writing my first product and putting up there, I learned quite a bit. I worked with a couple other DM's Guild authors to, you know, have them kind of proofread it and give me some advice on what they would leave in and what they would take out. And then, you know, getting it priced, I'm still fighting with the pricing on it, whether I like the pricing where it is or, you know, I want to lower it or raise it or what have you. But, you know, I think it's a good launch pad. I mean, it really is. And it's been a decent experience. And, you know, I've got some credit on DM's Guild that I get to use up when I want to go buy somebody else's product that I find on there. And I go, hey, that's cool. I think I'll buy that. It gives me the freedom to click it and say, use my credit, and away I go. So it kind of adds back to the commerce.
Ron, what about you?
Well, I tinkered, you know, I probably less so than you guys did. I tinkered with DM's Guild, and my first few products were really bad. Just, you know, I just was still trying to learn the formatting and all that stuff. And I've left a couple on there, and they sell like 1 or 2 a month. I'm kind of shocked they're even selling, and I do want to update them, but so I don't. DM's Guild, I think it's a great thing. I think to me it's all positives for anyone that wants to do it. There's no cost to you, you know, just the joy of putting it on there. And if that 50% you get is 100% really, because it's otherwise it would have been 0. And we're all still doing that, whatever that is. I just haven't, you know, just the polish of it all is where you need to focus if you're going to be making that. You really need to get that polish down as far as it looking like a 5e product. It's, you know, it's formatted like a 5e, you know, and, you know, proofreading and all that. And I, you know, I'm just starting to figure all that out in the last year or so. But it's enjoyable.
One of the things that one of the other sort of impediments for me was by the time I got there, there was already a little cadre of authors who were doing, you know,
picking the top spot. They were always getting the top spots.
Yeah, and
which is
not,
fun, you know,
not without good reason. We're talking about, you know, 150-page campaigns that take you through 1 to 10. You know, with original stuff and artwork and everything. And I mean, aside from the obvious question of where the hell are they getting the money to do all of the resources for this?
Oh, the artwork too. The artwork.
Right. The artwork. That's
yeah.
right.
I mean, my cover for my books is, you know, $300 to $500, and every other page of their books has something in it, you know.
Yeah. But there was a Facebook group for a while, the DM's Guild creators group, and I was in that, kind of just sort of trying to get my bearings and sort of learn. And then when they closed it down, I don't know where everybody went, but everybody's still collaborating.
Yeah, I was going to say there's still a group there for the DM's Guild. I think they just renamed it, rebuilt the group, and made it into a private group, and then you had to re-sign up type of thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it went away for good.
Yeah, it's I went there also like trying to find you know, help for doing what I was doing.
Right.
For the product I wrote, I had a similar. There was a similar product I saw that I was you know, trying to emulate kind of what this person was doing with reskinning an adventure. And most of what I found on the DM's Facebook group was, hi, and I've got a book for sale, and click here. And it's like,
okay,
how did you choose what artwork to use? Oh. There's no answers there. It's just, buy my book.
And speaking of that, let's promote, let's show what we're doing. Let's do that shameless plug stuff now. Who wants to go first, or should I? Because I went last time, or do you? Who wants to go first?
I can go. I can go. So Mark doesn't chime us again. So I.
Yeah, really.
So I'm uploading some stuff here in DM. Let me share my screen. So I am ready now. So
hopefully
we
this will
can
work.
do that. Pretty much. I'm selling right now 2 stuffs in DM's Guild, and it's stuff that I use every day, and that's pretty much what I did it. So I have this here it is. Let me hide this. I have this screens that I hang on my actual Dungeon Master screen. I don't know if you can see my.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
those look cool.
they are. Right now, I'm running the Rime of the Frost Maiden with the campaign that I told you about. I'm running with my cousins. We bought the book and we are running it. So there is so much information in this that happened the same to me in Strat that I start doing this kind of hangers that I hang from my. Here you can see it, that I hang from my Dungeon Master screen with some stuff that I need. For example, in this adventure, Wilder and Survival is very important. Let me go over here so you can see them. So that here is the instructions that you can download, that print, cut, fold, enjoy being a Dungeon Master. And this is kind of, when I started it started with 2 screens. Right now, the document has 4 screens. And I'm working on the 5th. Well, I just finished the 5th one that I'm going to show it to you, like it's a premiere. So here you have all the Wilder and Survival rules that goes just in the book of the Rime of the Frost Maiden. For example, extreme cold applies to everything, but the lighting just applies to this place. What happens at 3 to 12 a.m. to 10 a.m.? There's an aurora. Everything is dark. There's no sun. So you as a Dungeon Master have to account for the moon and for a lot of stuff to know the lighting they will have at any given moment when they are on the wilderness. So the pacing is slower. A normal dungeon pace is 3 miles per hour. Well, here where you are in the wilderness, you will go half a mile per hour because of the weather, or because of whatever extreme cold things that these things have. Also, I was struggling. This is the last one I uploaded to the same document. I showed you what I wanted for the people that already pay for my screen, that have some new content maybe every month that will go for the same price that they already paid, because it also gives me an excuse to go to Reddit and say, okay, I uploaded this new screen. So I was struggling with some stuff in 10 towns that I needed at hand. They were in Targos and they asked me, okay, is this a bigger town? My player said, okay, I have no idea. So I went to the book, and 15 minutes later, I had the answer. So now I have all the things. In another session, they ask, okay, which towns are working on food sacrifices? I don't know if you know about that adventure, but that's kind of a big deal of that thing. Oh, the food, I have it in a screen here. And the other thing I did was this little thing over here. The book encouraged you to roll for the first adventure your players are going to take, to make it random. But if you by any chance roll Lonelywood, you will TPK a first level party. So I'm not saying railroad your players, but know that there's no way a party of 4 to 6 players are gonna finish this if you play it as it is. So I kind of did this so the people that it's starting, it says, okay, I will not go to the 10 options adventure. Maybe I will go with this one, with this one, with this one, and that one. So
my last episode, I'm going to ruin it a little, but two of the characters got completely crushed and killed by the white moose, the white horned devil is what I call it. So
they have no way of winning that.
That's how I roll. That's how I roll.
That's right. So I just added. I had some extra space, so I put something about magic items in 10 towns that. It's special in 10 towns because there are so few resources, right. And buying axe and dogsloot. So this was my first. The second one I'm gonna go a little faster, and the other one I have 3 over there, but this is the one I'm most proud about. I took a lot of time in designing it. And I created it for Rime of the Frost Maiden, but I use it for myself in Curse of Strahd. And I put the name that I put on it, it's What Players Know. If you play, all of you have played Curse of Strahd, obviously.
Not
if you
me,
have played
but-
that, oh, okay.
It's okay. I read it though. I've studied it. Yeah.
There's so much stuff
Yeah.
that you will never know when to tell your players something, who should tell them, who have that information, and about any given plot, about any given time. Rime of the Frost Maiden is the same. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of plots going on. There are more than 30 quests. And if you don't want to go and give information dump to your characters the moment something happens or they need to know, well, you need to be prepared and start giving them information in small bits. This is the document I'm proudest of because I created 4 tables that with how to roll the game with just information that it's in the book. There's nothing new. There's no homebrew. There's no new monster. There's not, just put together all the 300 pages in 4 tables that tells you, okay, table 1, just tell your players, here is information that they should know. Don't role play it. For example, when they are arriving to a city, just tell them the general ambience of the city and don't expect to role play everything because you are gonna go mad. So the table 1 is just tell your players. You go to the table 2, and this is my favorite table, that it's called breadcrumbs. You roll a 100 dice, and depending on what the number is, this is a little check mark so you know what they know. You are gonna give them information that it's running around in towns, rumors, things, a kid asking you for tails for coins, 2 kobolds or 2 halflings you overheard in a tavern, or some drunk guy that wants to tell you a tale of a dragon if you buy him a meal. Whatever you want to role play it, but all this information, it's kind of everything people know, and you will not know when to give it to them until they need it. Well, what I did is, don't worry about that. Just roll and tell them, for example, now my party knows about the Tribe of the Tiger. This is true. They know about the Tribe of the Tiger because they found in a tavern someone about Tribe of the Tiger, but they are not going to find them until chapter 3, if you are running the book as it is. So whatever you do, you are telling them information bit by bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in that book, man.
This is all it's word by word the information of the book. So you can see it's a lot of things to put together. The table 3, it's information you need as a dungeon master to know your players in order to find it out. They need to take a quest. For example, if they want to know this, they have to take the Black Sword quest. There is no other way. So if you want them to know that piece of information, you have to do that. And that's all the tables. The 4th table is just a bonus that says your players will find it no matter what they do. All this information is just for the dungeon master to read, but they don't have to worry. When they are running the adventure, when they are in the specific page their players are, some NPC is going to tell them this little piece of information. So you, dungeon master, don't worry about it. This document that you are seeing right now. Yeah. It took me.
That's really great. I mean, it's
a lot of hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do a lot of the prep work ahead of time, like on Notion, and I try to use the kind of the lazy DM prep method, and having all those like little secrets and stuff ready to go, because I mean that's the thing that takes me the longest. I know where the players are pretty much going to be. I know a few places they might be going, but coming up with those secrets that they're going to find out while they're in those places, that's the thing that takes the most research. That's a great idea to put that in the document.
Where they are, what they know. And I forgot. I sometimes forget. Did I already tell them, or who tells them? And they don't forget.
All right, so
exactly who tells them what. So
all right, Victor.
that's pretty much what.
Yeah, that's
what
awesome. We'll put. I'll get a link for sure. But you've taken up Brian and Mark's time, so I'll go next.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we were on the clock. I'm sorry.
$10. Come on, man.
Oops.
Man, that's a lot. Victor, you're crazy. You are crazy. That's a lot of stuff, man. Woo.
It
Yeah, I
took
was
me a
I
lot
was
of
hoping
time,
you.
but-
I was hoping Ron you'd give it another minute because I wouldn't have had to buy the product. I could have screenshot. I was just curious. Though.
I was gonna say that during. I can just. I've screen grabbed everything. No worries. Like, wow, that's a lot of work, man. That's a lot. That's gone deep. Okay. Whew. So yeah, we'll get the links up. All right, that's all the time we have, folks. Now, okay, who's next?
Brian, go for it.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, so I started out here. Hold on one second. Let me figure out how to do the share a screen. Let me make sure I'm sharing the correct screen here. So I started out, my writing adventure. I thought, what can I take? Let me take the number one adventure that everybody puts on the bottom of their list, and let me make something a little bit different out of it. So I took Storm King's Thunder, which I'm one of the few people that think Storm King's Thunder is pretty cool. It's a decent storyline. It takes a little work to run it. You've got to really know your stuff if you're going to run Storm King's Thunder. But with my group, we were going to play Storm King's Thunder, and there was a big request at the time because the Eberron books had just come out we want to play Storm King's Thunder, but we want to play it in Eberron. And if you've ever looked at Storm King's Thunder, I mean, there's 150 different locations in this thing. And that is like the biggest hurdle trying to get that. How do I convert that from the Forgotten Realms and the Remembered Realms over to Eberron, which is something that's like, take the Forgotten Realms, flip them upside down, put them in a bucket, shake them up, rearrange all the names, and then call it something different. It was really different to kind of expand that out. So I started making an outline for this product, and I built a little book, and it's called Storm King's Thunder in Eberron. And essentially what it is it's a setting conversion guide for you to take the Storm King's Thunder book and to play it in an Eberron setting. And most of this book is, we go through and we have some, we talk about like a little basic adventure synopsis to kind of kick the adventure off from a little bit different direction. You still have the original 3 towns, but they're set in a little bit different place. Most of it starts out on the continent of Corvair, and then it very quickly moves into Zendrick, depending on where you decide to get your group patron from and where the group decides to go first, second, third, fifth, and 20th. But we managed to fit all the chapters into it. There's a whole lot of text up front. That just is the kind of baseline story to get you going for kind of your own adventure. And then towards the back of the book, we start talking about, the Forgotten Realms factions that are used and how do you convert that over to the Eberron factions that are used? Because Eberron has, not just the 5 basic factions. Eberron probably has 25 factions in it. And they all have different varying degrees of politics and intrigue and other things that are there. So we tried to do a little bit of conversion of the factions. We converted the major locations. And then, as we started going into Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 of this, we got the Chapter 4 locations all put together. Chapters 5 through 9, they're where the giants are living and where their fortresses and everything are. We changed that over. I went through to use my methodology. I went through and figured out what kind of biome is the area in. Is it hilly? Is it plains? Is it forest? Is it out in the ocean? And then tried to convert that onto the Eberron map into an area that makes sense, and then do the research on the Eberron side. There's a couple of monsters that come with it. A couple of people who played, D&D 3 or version 3, you'll know who like Gordon Ashlord is from the novels. And, I have the Spirit of Skila in there, who's in there from one of the books. A few handouts, and then Appendix C is just your quick reference guide for the DM. So when you're looking in the Storm King's Thunder book and you go, oh, wow, this creature destroyed Neverwinter, you can scroll down through real quick and you can figure out, oh, no, another Neverwinter was a volcanic area. So, this thing destroyed the Ash Cauldrons area of the mountains. So you can convert it very quick. So that's my book. It's very, very basic. Most of it, again, was taken from the Trapper Keepers and the Mead notebooks of the future. I do most of my session planning I use Notion.so. It's a website, and it's basically like OneNote or any of the other areas like that. And I literally wrote out the entire campaign of Storm King's Thunder as if I was going to play it in Eberron, and that really helped me solidify, would this work to convert this city for that city or this faction for that faction? And then we test played this thing. So, and I know you guys talk about, starting off little adventures, trying not to kill level 1 players. Some of the test playing, we were trying not to kill the level 8 players when they got into the Iron Slag, so because they like to do things like open up Duke Zalto's flask. So if you've ever played Storm King's Thunder, you know what happens when you do that.
That's just where my characters are at right now, and the fire cleric just begged for help from his god, and guess what? He unleashed from the forge as help.
Yes. Yeah, the players kind of got the jump on Duke Zalto because they wanted to release the prisoner from his maul that he had. And so they were pretty much all surrounding Duke Zalto, like half of them were invisible. They were all stealthed out. And so they got kind of jump on him. So Duke Zalto fell pretty early. And
mine did too.
As he fell, he threw the flask and took off. And of course, the flask broke open, and one of the players went over and went, "Oh, what's in the flask?" and picks it up to look at it. But by then it's too late. So that was quite funny watching them run for the gantries. So. But so anyhow, so that's my basic product. I try to roll that up in a bucket, and it seems to be doing pretty good. It's on DM's Guild. I mean, it's been out there since October, and so far I've sold about 25 copies. So it's doing about 6-7 copies a month. Right. I will not be a millionaire from it, but I am having fun with it.
But feels great, right? It's a
good time.
I mean, it's great.
It's all
you earn $40. Yes.
Yeah, it's all notes, and it's like, yeah, I got a Starbucks. I got some Starbucks money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got money for coffee.
Great.
Yep,
it really do.
I think the trick is you earn $20, and then DM's Guild gets you to spend $40.
Wow, this is like, you were looking at that Monster Manual 3 on there. You could afford that because there's $10 in your account. You just throw $10 with it, you can have this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, DM's Guild does take a lot of my money back, but I have found running campaigns and doing prep. There's so many things on there like Victor stuff and things like that help you with prep. Mm-hmm. If you're a DM, buy the campaign book, but then go on DM's Guild, buy whatever companion materials you could find, because there's stuff on there that for $2 or $10 or $25 sometimes will make your adventure so much smoother, so much easier, and it's experience and knowledge coming from people who have played that adventure 5 or 6 times. Yeah,
it's really worth it.
All right, you want me to go, and then you can go after me, Mark?
Sure.
Since it's kind of that sequence. Since my Goblin thing is up on Kickstarter now.
That's right. Yes, and, you're in progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going to show you
right now.
See if this works. So this is my work in progress for my Goblin Fortress, and this is just my I'm just working on the colors, the flat colors right now. But as you can see, I'm looking for a certain kind of style that I really am falling in love with as far as battle maps, and it's where you can visually see everything. You can still put your miniatures down on a widescreen TV. I got one in the garage with my virtual tabletop, or I can put this in Roll20, and I'm just I'm trying to create like the little storylines with every little area, with these little ropes. They hung some, there's some dead bodies hung up. What are they working on here? What are their pets? So I'm really trying to create that ecology of the goblins. And this is the Goblin Fortress. They have an arena here with an Otiog in it, and there's the Goblin King will come down and be amongst the peoples for entertainment. And I don't know exactly who they put in there. Maybe a fellow, some intruders. And this is his layer, and I've got dungeons underneath. Everything has a underground layer as well, and these are like their ogre or some sort of bigger guys that live with them. And this is like little mushroom farms. So I really want there to be this, what's here, and every little cave has something it's leading to. And this is of course like a goblin sorcerer, acolytes over here on this towers on the side.
Are they supposed to build that, or they are settling in an old castle they found and it's now their lair?
A little bit of both, right? A little bit. There's always going to be a ruins or history to something that the goblins build upon, right? And so you're gonna have to find that out. Okay, you have to go dig down in there and find out if there are some ancient ruins or not.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I like that drawing. It's really cool. I mean, it reminds me of some world building exercises. Because I mean, the big thing is, I mean, way back when, in the days long, long ago, you're sitting there with your Mead notebook and you're going, and as you're going up the side of the mountain pass, which is very narrow and slick and precarious, you come upon a gate, and you're trying to explain stuff in English in theater of the mind, and not everybody has the same imagination, but a drawing like that, I mean, really would help, get the players to spark an idea of where they are, what they're looking at.
Yeah.
It gives them a little bit better immersion. That's a really cool. I like that drawing.
Yeah.
I like that
Me too.
type map too.
Yeah,
It
and I'm
reminds me
gonna.
of Fireball Island.
I'm so excited about this. I'm really enjoying the process. It's there's tedium and it's laborious, but I love doing it, and I'm gonna do more of these. I'm just.
Man, that thing up in the middle of the top, you need to carve that look like a big goblin's head with a goblin's mouth for the door.
Wait, where?
Right there, right there in the center. Yeah. No, to your left, right up there. The like the little building that you got coming up on the left side there.
There you go.
There you go. That thing. Yeah, you can carve that in the shape of the king's head, like you go.
Well, I did this here, which I haven't colored yet, but you can see it looks like a.
Oh, there you go.
With stalactites, stalagmites. So
nice.
Oh, okay, cool.
And there's going to be like little candles in here. So.
Cool.
When I color it out, and there's like dripping water down here, so there's a little water cave in there, and definitely I think too visually when you see something visual, especially in these areas, you as a DM start to realize the treachery of the terrain, and how they're going to get there, and what's the DC difficulty, for getting through it and traversing it. And then I'm just and I'm almost done really, but I'm just loving doing this. And then the other thing I do,
it's really cool.
Yeah, let me.
You have that on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, that's my Kickstarter right now. So yeah, get on there. Okay.
How's it called? I have my keyboard here. How's it called?
It's funded, right? You're funded at this point.
It's funded. Yeah, it's the Goblin Fortress.
Okay.
And I just want to show the manual or the book I'm working. And this is just. I'm working on the different kinds of goblins that are going to be there, and I've put this on hold because as I'm making the map, it's literally organic. I'm starting to figure out what kind of goblins live there and what they do for day to day. But this is just my initial sort of breakdown of how I'm going to format it, just so people can see that I'm actually putting something together. But anyway,
very cool.
Yeah. So that's it for me. That's my little joy right now.
Okay, so
I'm at your page right now. I'm at the Kickstarter.
Cool.
Yeah, I was.
Don't worry, we're paying attention. We're just buying your Kickstarter right now.
That means I got to do ogres next. Oh well, the stretch goal. But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
Mark,
last year with Kickstarter Zine Quest 2, I did my zine, which was Monty Hall, and I named it that as an intentional, hello to everybody that was over the age of 35, and so this did really well. I was pleased, and I got 2 of the 4 issues fully funded, and decided to go ahead and do 3 and 4. So. And they were all themed around a specific thing. So this was this issue was Wizards Go Back to School. This was Rogues in the House. This was Houses of the Holy, and then the 4th one is Swords Against Civilization. And so everything's just kind of grouped like with like, and I'm excited about it. I'm putting the finishing touches on issue 4 right now, and it should be done when the Kickstarter launches for Gobsmack. And I'm real excited about this. This is uses a system I've been doing for a while for NPCs that I think works very well, and it's really good for planners or pantsers, depending on what your take is. But the gist is, this is a way to take goblins and put them in your cities right alongside the dwarves and the gnomes and the elves and the halflings. And there's a specific aesthetic that I use. My goblins in my big city are essentially South London punks circa 1979. So, you know, they're rude, they're crass, they're disenfranchised. You know, they're always looking for an angle. They don't really want anything to do with you, but you can hire them for stuff, or they can come to you with a problem. And so, because I don't like a lot of the work that's been done on goblins in D&D. I haven't liked it for a while. I feel like it's sort of cursory. And for me,
Right.
Early on, playing first edition, I loved goblins. I thought they were cool. I start researching goblins at the library at the age of 12, 13. And what I keep running into is Andrew Lang fairy books. And the goblins of folklore are very different than the goblins in D&D. And I actually like the goblins in folklore better. I think you got more options. I think that's more interesting. And so I started reimagining what goblins were and how they got here. And so this Kickstarter project is going to fund my system for building goblins in 5th edition and making them interesting and cool.
Right.
And the art's by my friend John Lucas, longtime collaborator. He and I have worked on a bunch of stuff together, comics and all sorts of things. And he's bringing it. I'm really happy with
the detail. The guy is letting one go in his pants there. I can see that.
Yeah, he is. We wanted to kind of tell little stories with each one of these illustrations, and so I'm
Great.
I'm pretty happy with that. That's the hobgoblin dressing down the chef, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so, anyways, that starts February 15th, and it's not the same thing that Ron's doing, but it doesn't. The two don't cancel themselves out, because you can still have goblins that aren't in the city doing,
Right.
classic goblin stuff. And
this it's going to be full of different NPC. Are you going to have like stats, or what are you going to, or stories, or what is it?
Yeah, what you'll do is through a series of quick table rolls with 20-sided dice, you can generate a name, you can generate a profession, you can generate a personality and some quirks, and you can the thing that I think is the crux of the system is called levers and triggers. You can give them a lever and you can give them a trigger. And a lever is something that you can find out about an NPC that they want, that they need, that they desire. That's a positive thing for them. You can say, hey, I'll give you this if you do this.
Yes.
And you can generally use the lever to apply, leverage and get what you want. Now, a trigger is the opposite. You can mention that to the NPC, but they're probably not going to want to know that you know that, or they're going to be mad that you brought it up, or they're going to be upset that you're that you have the nerve to ask them about this. And all of it fits on a 3x5 sized index card. It's really easy, and it's designed to be disposable. If you roll up one of these goblins and you throw them at the players, and they're just like, okay, well, we buy our gear and move on. Great, you can toss that guy. You don't need him, and you didn't put a lot of work into it, But if they like the character, you can then add things to the sheet as needed, and trick out and turn the chance encounter into a minor NPC, or even a major NPC. And so I found that over the years that works really well, especially in town adventures where you're having to do a lot of conversations and a lot of talking. And so all of this gets applied to goblins, and I think the results are very cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how it all looks so far, and stretch goals are only just going to make it, bigger and more interesting. So that's me, kind of in a nutshell, for what's going on.
That's
And
pretty cool.
yeah, there you go.
So where I know they are going to be links. There are going to be links on the description. But where can we find?
Money Hall 0 through 3 is currently on Drive Through RPG right now. The 0 issue was my proof of concept issue. You know, can I do this? What's it going to look like? And I specifically wanted something that looked first edition. I wanted basically to get that sort of AD&D Monster Manual Player's Handbook kind of style, but with, you know, all modern stuff. And so all that's on Drive Through RPG. Gobsmack will be initially on Kickstarter, and I'll do an offset print run at Mixam, which is a great press for this stuff. And then it'll live on Drive Through RPG in PDF and POD format after that. So, and I've been surprised. You know, it's always fun and a little, I don't know if it's humbling or scary to look at people and go, well, I don't know who that is. Why are they backing me? This is right. I don't know this guy. This is a stranger, you know. And so there's, you know, that automatically kind of levels up what you're doing, and you know, you don't have as much or, you know, it's real now, you know. So that was one of the harrowing but really fun things about last year. And I honestly thought that to go briefly back to DM's Guild, I was afraid of doing some of this stuff and releasing it to the DM's Guild, that it would get sort of lost in the cascade of material that's out there. Whereas with Zine Quest, I had, granted, there was almost 200 people that participated, but Kickstarter was promoting it, and everybody was sort of sharing information. And the RPG zine culture and community right now is pretty big and growing. I'm actually on the cusp rather than in the rear this time, and so I thought that would just sort of be a better place to showcase what I'm doing. And so the zine community has been fantastic. There's a Facebook group called RPG Zines, and it's I don't know what the ratio is of content creators to fans, but there's a lot of content creators that post regularly, and everybody is extremely helpful, kind, welcoming. You know, a lot of people come in and ask for advice, and sometimes, you know, people will sequentially ask the same thing in consecutive weeks. Nobody gets mad. Nobody points fingers and says, check up at on the other last things. Everybody's just like, yeah, sure,
well, I
can help with that.
That's me. I'm the one that does that.
Don't you love it when you have a product out there and then somebody asks the same question for maybe the second week in a row, and your customer service representatives that you never asked for with, scroll up, stupid. You know,
right.
That was me. Yeah, I try to go there and keep everything in order.
There is a lot of there is a big lack of reading instructions these days. But, we'll seem to get it figured out.
Yeah, it's just you jump on there and you're all excited and you just want to okay, awesome. I think we're all exhausted from all the positivity.
It's almost nap time.
only good vibes, and as you put it, it's great to have some bugs because you did it, but just like Ron said earlier, the joy of putting it there, it's pretty good. And then Mark talk about it, and it's and I want to put it like this, what I get of all this, like Mark said, they find you put something there and they find you. It's incredible. You say, okay, is there anybody ever gonna buy me? And then you go there and you have $2. You did it just for the joy of putting it there, but then you have $2 and say, wow, it feels pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's encouraging.
It's encouraging.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different economy than than what I was educated for back in the 80s, 90s and stuff. Because you come out and it's like, oh, there's businesses and you got to buy stuff at the store.
Yeah, that's all we know.
The way things are now, where I can get on Amazon and order the newest book that's coming out in a month, and all that good stuff. So I get a big kick out of finding that stuff. And I love it when people buy my book. It's great. I get somebody besides my mother or my brother to buy it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very sensitive. You know, I've got a lot of people that I know, through various means and endeavors. D&D kind of unites them, you know, and so early on that was you know, with especially with Kickstarter campaigns, you know, there's this urge to flog, right? And there's this urge to sort of just hammer your Kickstarter into the eyeballs of like everyone that you come across, and of course that way leads to madness and death. So my question for you is, and I'd love to hear from Ron first, since I'm about to be under the gun. How do you balance the art versus commerce side of it? I mean, what do you do to market, and who do you market to, versus, you know, taking the time to sort of work on your stuff? I find that that's two separate sides of my brain, and they don't always talk and agree. So I literally have to kind of stop coming up with interesting goblin names and pivot and go, okay, how am I going to do this? What's this going to look like? You know, they're separate to me. So how do you guys get the word out about your stuff, but don't annoy people?
Well, the Goblin Fortress on Kickstarter right now. 5 days to go. Well, here's a simple thing. In the mornings, I try to be as creative as possible with my coffee, and you start to get that burnout. And then in the afternoons, I just try to, you know, polish stuff first and then market. And then in the marketing, you know, is the last hours of the day for me. And I just try to figure out what, you know, it's funny is then I stress, what do I do? How do I even get out there? And there's so many that say no more Kickstarters, you know, on Reddit and stuff like that. And I really, Kickstarter, at least based on what they're telling me, you know, is 90% of my backers are from Kickstarter. So all that work I've been doing on trying to figure out Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter really don't give me that much.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
like,
I think all of us are in like a pretty finite market. We're in a pretty small market, because I was talking to somebody today when I was doing some stuff earlier, and they were asking about, you know, they gave me that Dungeons and Dragons look, like, oh, you play that, you know, and it's like you know, and I was telling about the
not even that, we're even smaller in the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, we're even smaller than that. Yeah. And you know, I got talking about Gary Gygax kind of throwing all this together, and then he kind of has what what I call his Hollywood years, where it's like, I got money, I got the big bucks, I got published, I'm good to go. He's out in the 90s, he spends all his money, and like Wizards of the Coast has come in and buy him, and you know, and I'm like, he really overspent his market. You know, he went beyond what his little market was at that time, and if he'd gone a little slower, he probably would be just fine. He'd still be the owner of this thing today, but it's one of those things where you got to start out slow. And I mean, a lot of marketing, I'll get on Reddit, and I hate to look at like some of the groups on Reddit, because it's like, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. 2 posts later, buy my book. You know, another post about something, buy my book, and it's like,
oh, that was me. Yeah.
Wow, how many times can I say, guys, say buy my book? I'm not going to buy his book now. You know, a lot of what I've done is I've just taken like parts of old session notes, you know, and put them up there on Reddit, just on the D&D stories, and said, hey, you know, this is, you know, it's kind of what happened, and a little summary that I'd write up as a DM. And then I put at the bottom of that, you know, this was while we were playing, and then I put like the product right there. That's actually given me the most stuff, because I'm kind of giving something for free. I'm telling them about something and take a little time, and you know, I don't feel like writing something up or copying down notes or something like that. But you do that little bit, and you get that kind of subtle marketing in there. I think you get a much better, you get a base of what your 1,000 true fans really are.
Okay.
Oh, one last thing I'll say is the YouTube has been really, I don't know how much, I guess I've gotten a few sales from YouTube, or whatever it is, the Kickstarter or even my other stuff. But YouTube has been pretty, I don't know. I get a lot of good comments. I get a lot of kind of encouragement and making videos, but it is kind of time consuming too. Although I try to cut that. I don't do any scripts and edit, which a few of them have told me, I can tell you don't script, you know. But I just kind of, you know, whatever has come across my mind as far as DMing, I try to make a quick video on that and post it, and it's been helpful to a lot of people. Well, I've gotten 95% thank you so much for what you posted, and it's really helped me. of my comments and subscribers. And I think I've only gotten like 3 or 4 that have criticized me. And I did, and I'm learning myself to take that criticism and thank them. And that it's always gone positive from there. So that's really helped me out a lot. And I am, in a sense, not, I'm certainly not scripting it. It's not polished. And I'm just trying to just give out some advice. But I feel that's really encouraged me to continue this path that I'm on, the Kickstarters or whatever else. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting on that kind of stuff because, I mean, you really have to watch out that the criticism does not kill you. Those 4 or 5 people who hate your stuff. Yeah. You don't want to have that be 90% of your focus. I mean, I think people sometimes you get a little bit of criticism and it's like, I didn't like how you formatted this, or I didn't like how that was. Okay, cool. I can use that information. Thank you. I will, feedback's again. Yeah. I will take that. There is a big old group of trolls that that aren't from Dungeons and Dragons. They're just out on YouTube. They're just doing stuff going,
and they are everywhere.
Like the background,
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
In my free time, I troll all the other YouTube
After
channels.
I fail at everything, I start trolling.
We should, maybe we ought to write put a book up on DM's Guild about, how to troll on YouTube using D&D.
How to troll D&D content creators.
Yeah, get a troll on YouTube.
How to crush their soul.
Yeah.
I have there's an old Jewish expression that I do a lot of my creative decisions by. If 3 people tell you you're drunk, go lie down, right? And so, when it comes to, comments and criticism, constructive or otherwise, a lot of times you get people that will just, kind of punch the thing and say, this is boring and weird. All right. Clearly not for you. In the Olympic judging panel, you're the Czech guy. We're always going to factor you out, right? Or you're France. We clearly have to take that average in the middle. But that's I think that's a good thing, But then if you keep hearing the same general thing over and over, I didn't like the way this was formatted. I didn't like the way this was formatted. That's when you go, oh well, maybe I should look at the way this was formatted. But you can always that lone voice is usually just, this doesn't look like how I would have done it if I did it in my head, right? And so that you can kind of, take some of it with a grain of salt.
And some of that may be, wow, he did something that I wish I would have done.
Right.
Wait, something nasty about it. And I mean, it's, we're all just trying here. I mean, I am by no way like the Ralph Waldo Emerson or anything like that. I mean, I am sure my first DM's Guild product, there are some people who love it. There are other people who are going to look at it and go, this is crap. I mean, and if you think it's crap, call me, I'll send you $5. But, I mean,
that's right.
It's one of those things that's like, I want to put something out there. I tried it. I thought this would be a cool idea. It's a good way to use up some of the resources from my hobby and get a little income from that hobby. Yeah. And it is no great income, by the way.
Well, so if you look at some of my YouTube videos and the DM's Guild stuff I put up, you'll realize that I don't listen to anybody. You really, but I just throw it up there. I don't care.
Victor, how do you do your shilling and huckstering for your stuff?
I'm really just starting, so I don't have a method. But usually I don't go.
He emails me.
That's right. I email everybody. That's one way that I thought about it in December when I launched this product. But right now I'm pretty much I'm subscribed to some Reddit that I used to be previously. And to tell you the truth, Reddit and Facebook send me a daily mail telling me what people are talking about, and if I think I can chip in, I chip in. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now, and it works. Maybe somebody asks an advice of something that I have, and I answer the question about what they are talking about, and then I say, okay, and I have a document in the Dungeon Masters Guild with more information about what you are asking, and it usually brings me 1, 2 sales that moment. So
right.
So it's kind of cool, but I'm also thinking about maybe advertising, but I'm still working on that part. But how do I balance that? That was the thing that you were talking about. I'm
Yeah.
not creating that much content. I have a work, a paying job, and on my free time, I'm doing this crazy stuff. I design it, I put it together, and then when I launch it, I have, as I told you, I have 3 things in DM's Guild. I start to talk about it in Facebook or Reddit or something like that. But
Okay.
uh,
I mean, you should do like
not really a meta.
you should do a series. I've been doing a series of Rhyme of Frost Maidens on my YouTube, and there's other guys that get way more views than I do about it, and because I'm kind of going off on it, like not negative. I'm telling people how I'm DMing it, but you, I feel like, are telling people how to DM it, and those videos get a lot of views. So I mean, you might want to. I mean, it's time consuming. But if you want to do that with your product, and kind of teach, do videos on that, you might get some pretty good views because the people that do that get like, 1,000, 4,000 views to my, few hundred.
Yeah. I
It's
thought
just-
about it.
it's
I
a
thought
lot
about
of work.
it, but that's right. I thought about it, and I made a video for one of the products that I showed you, that it's also in DM's Guild, and it took me like forever to do it. Forever. Because I can do it. I can't do what I'm doing right now with you. That I'm talking fluently and it's normal. I need a script. I can't. I try to do. Okay, I'm gonna explain what I'm doing in a video, and I had to make a script. I had to cut it. To go to iMovie and edit it, and it was a pain.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, maybe videos are not for me.
Some of those YouTube videos are great when people are like, okay, so now we are going to talk about how to play.
That's right. I hate that video, so I had to run the script. And for example, if you have seen Ron videos, he just start talking. I can't do that.
Well, it's probably
start talking.
You just do it, and after 100 people tell you how terrible you are, you keep doing it.
Yeah, you keep doing it. And he just talks.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and you are listening to him and things that going in his mind.
Yeah.
I can do that. So I have to like have more structure. I don't know. So,
Well, those guys are way more successful though. So
yeah, that video took me. Go and see it. Just that how I look stiff and how I look normal, like I'm looking like now. I hate that video, but I already made it, so it's in there.
Well, I had the YouTube stuff, of course. See, this is the problem with being 50 years old in this industry right now. I started a blog right at the time that everybody was like, oh, blogs are done. And so I've been watching YouTube explode. And now I've finally got, thanks to having to do Zoom and a bunch of online playing and so I got a decent camera. I've had this for podcasting for a while.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, well, maybe I could get online and do a thing. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're all on Discord now. It's like, God, what are you doing? I get it. I get it. I'm running behind, but for God's sake,
I know
I'm
Discord
never
is
gonna catch up. As soon as I go to
it freaks me out. Discord.
They're going to be like, oh, we're beaming it directly into our skulls now. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know what you guys have been doing, but we're all on telepathy now.
Yeah, the Discord.
Kids with their jazz records and their roller skates. Get off my lawn.
With a stick.
Make a note in your Mead notebook.
That's right. I got your names. They're in the Trapper Keeper. Don't think I don't know who your parents are.
Yeah, we are there right now.
All right. Let's end this. We're all getting crazy.
All right. Hey, when are we going to do this again? This was a good time. I thought this was very valuable.
Let's first see how rich we get off of it.
Yeah, well, that
I'm
will
kidding.
be a good idea.
Well, for you on YouTube.
Well, let's try it again in like a month-ish. I'll just email, just whatever.
Yeah. Let's read the mean comments together. So
if we
they crush our souls.
Your Kickstarter will be done and mine will be wrapping up. So,
when is your start? When is your start?
February 15th. The whole month of February is Zine Quest.
It'll be 30 days, right?
No, they want you to do 2-week campaigns, and even though a lot of people don't do it, Yeah, it's supposed to be quick and dirty. When they started it 3 years ago.
Oh, you're talking your thing, not Kickstarter. You're talking your.
No, Kickstarter says make a zine, do it in 2 weeks.
Oh, zines are though. You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So mine's going to go from the 15th to the 28th.
Oh, okay.
And so, I'm sure that there'll be links down below for everybody's stuff, including where you can sign up and be notified when the project launches, which is always a thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's cool.
you can bug me at some point. Whatever. We'll figure it out. All right. This was fun.
Thanks.
I don't know if I learned anything.
Thanks for hosting us. It was a good time.
Yeah, very much so. Enjoyed meeting you guys and chatting with you.
Okay. I think that's it.
Right.
Awkward
Thanks a lot,
goodbyes. All right.
And
I'll post this.
All the bloopers and the outtakes.
So there's no
Yeah.
editing, right? I can just post this. I'm just going to post it. All right.
I'm so proud of myself. I did not throw out a single fuck or shit.
Hey!
You have no
Okay, now-
idea.
Now he's got to get the editor out.
Now
and take
you will
the
have to
stuff.
edit it.
It wasn't even PG-13. It was PG. I'm so happy, you know.
All right.
We can put that out later.
Yeah, we're done, so that's okay.
All right.
Victor, you
Good.
saw my note that I sent you?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I didn't want to comment it because I don't
No.
want to
Yeah, I know. That's why
make
I
a
did
longer
it.
video.
Yeah.
But thanks
I
a
did
lot
it
for
in
the
chat.
idea.
All right.
I have another project that's going to come out later this year called Polite Society, which is about how to do heists in 5th edition for real, as opposed to how everybody says, oh, here's a map and here's some traps. Just run the heist. A lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
One of the
Well, I've seen them in movies, so I know how to do it.
well, right, but so the
Rick
whole
and
thing
Morty.
is kind of off of that. But I did there's stuff on the tables that aren't recommended for your starting heist, and so what I did is I reorganized all of the D20 tables so that for a beginning GM who's never run a heist before, instead of rolling D20s, roll D6s.
That's for
And
another
the top-
video.
And the top
Mark.
six, answers on all the tables are the easy ones to kind of play. They're not complicated. They don't require a lot of extra setup, and it's designed to do that. And then as you get more confident, you can go ahead and roll D20s. But I thought that was a really elegant way of solving the problem of when your table has big and little stuff on it. How do you keep players from choking or GMs from choking? So,
Okay. All right. That'll be for another time. You said later this year, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
planning
okay.
on doing it either September. Well, actually October. Gobsmack's going to go in September, and so the plan was
I got it.
and then
I gotta go to the bathroom, dude. I gotta go to the bathroom really bad.
All
All
right,
right.
sorry.
On that note,
Leave
I'll
that
see you
part in.
guys later.
That's awesome.
Good to meet you guys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for doing this run.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome.
everybody.
See ya. All
Bye.
right, y'all. Okay. Bye.